This is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. I'm Bill Wong. Today I will talk about being a pickleball parent coach. I worked on this episode for more than 3 weeks because it's personal to me. I spent more than 16 years of my life coaching both of my children in tennis. I spoke with 3 adults who were coached by their parents and 2 parent coaches. This episode is for any parent considering or coaching their child in pickleball or tennis. I want you to do the things that I did correctly and not repeat the mistakes that I made, and I made a lot of mistakes. Many people see the end results of a parent-coaching relationship, but they don't see the steps that go into it. You know that my daughter, Samantha Parker, is a professional pickleball player. This week in Michigan, she subbed for an MLP Challenger team. After I watched the matches on YouTube, I called her, I asked her about her experiences, and I made some comments. I know her, and I know myself. I know what to say and how I should say it. I know what she's feeling because we have this unique, shared experience, and it's very special. Today, I'm going to discuss the what, the good, the bad, and the ugly of parent coaching. First, the what. When I refer to coaching, I mean practice sessions, lessons plans, tournament scheduling, driving, and travel agent. I believe many parents should not coach for many reasons. 1, it's very difficult to divide the parent and the coach. Number 2, there is a lack of technical knowledge. Most parents do not know what they are doing. Number 3, we are biased because they're our children. And we are biased for the assessments of our own coaching abilities. However, there are positives. I have this shared experience with my daughter that makes us closer. Ultimately, we want our children to be better people than who we are. Many times, that means there has to be lessons learned, which means failure. Often people don't like to fail. I see it every day on the pickleball court and in life. They do what's comfortable, but they don't like failing and looking bad, which is a poor attitude. As a parent coach, we want our children sometimes to fail, but not fail too much. And failure is different for different people. Sports is a wonderful experience for learning about failure and lessons learned on the court and on the field under situations of pressure. The player. Individual sports such as tennis and pickleball are wonderful teaching tools. It teaches them to be a player, a coach, a tactician, a line judge, and a scorekeeper. They must abide by rules, have sportsmanship, learn to win with humility, and lose with grace. They get mental development. You have to learn how to control your emotions. It forces an individual to mature. Many times we went to tournaments, and Samantha needed to take care of herself as a 9-year-old on a huge tennis court. It was a great learning experience. She needed to learn to manage herself, her equipment, her mind, be timeful and respectful. And there is physical development. She's a very strong young woman because of those experiences as a young girl. The good. As I mentioned before, we have this wonderful shared experience. Right after the matches she played at the MLP, I gave her a call. She was actually getting dinner. She said, "Hey, Dad, give me a call back." I called her again. She was out getting a cookie. Then I called her again and we talked about it. And I knew exactly what to say and how to say it. First of all, as a parent, we need to say positive things. Often as coaches, we focus on the negative, which is one of the things that we need to learn. It's a wonderful shared experience that has improved our relationship. And parents can provide immediate emotional support and guidance and help their children navigate the pressures of competitions, and there's going to be setbacks. Another good thing is it saves money. Hiring a professional coach is very expensive. By coaching your own children, you can save a lot of money on coaching fees and related expenses. Thirdly, there's personalized attention. Many times paid instructors aren't invested as much as a parent will be into their child. The parent can provide highly personalized training tailored specifically toward the child's strengths, weaknesses, and learning style. And sometimes, if the parent puts the effort in and they have this knowledge base, parents have a deep understanding of not only the child's physical and mental capabilities, but also can customize to the needs of the situation. For example, I notice things about Samantha games that are flaws. Probably 99% of the people in the world don't see it, but I see it. So when we get on the practice court, I could say, let's work on this, because I saw 2 or 3 issues at your match at the MLP, and we can make improvements. I have a deep understanding not only of the sport, of her flaws, and we can create these drills to help her with it. And finally, flexibility. Parent coaches can arrange the training schedules that best suit the child's needs and blend it with my needs and my schedule. Last night, Sam called me, and we talked about her matches at the MLP. I told her how well she's doing, my assessments, and suggested drills. And she knows me. She knows I am not going to say something that I don't believe. And she asked me to call our friend Chris Bright, Anna's dad, to get his thoughts. We had a really nice chat, and she listened. And if you are a parent, you know how special that is for your child to reach out to you and to listen to you. Each player learns at a different pace, and we as parents cannot speed up that process. We just can't. Regardless of how we try or how we frame things, sometimes things take time. It's a process. One time, Sam and I worked on Annalee's two-handed inside-out backhand because she had played her, and she realized what a great shot that is. It happened to take Samantha all of about 30 seconds to get hit, but most people can't do that. On the other hand, she has struggled with block third shot drops. Well, it took me no time at all because I slice a lot, and I have a background in ping pong. Now the bad. Many times, the problem lies within the parents. The parents are more serious about the sport than the children. There's pressure of expectations. Children feel this immense pressure to meet the parents' expectations, leading to stress and potentially diminishing the enjoyment. And that strains the relationship. That dual role of parent and coach is blurred, and it strains that relationship of the parent-child, causing conflict, both on the court and off the court. The first thing I always ask Sam is, are you enjoying it? How was your experience? And I always tell her the positive, because she's always looking for the negative. Maybe it's because of me when I was a young coach and I would always focus on the negative, but we talked about the positive. I talked about the 3 or 4 things that I saw that was really good, that she had a lot of energy. She put a lot of balls away. She didn't fault. She missed a couple balls in the middle, but that was a lack of communication, probably because she wasn't used to her partner. Those are all positives. She knows me. She knows that I will give her the honest scoop. I am not going to sugarcoat it and give her some story that I am not believing. Also, lack of professional experience is another bad. Unless the parent has a strong background in coaching and understand the sport, that will limit the child's development. Doesn't mean they can't learn those skills, but the parent needs to be aware of their own deficiencies. For example, when Samantha was about 14 or 15, we had some problems with her serve. I believe the tennis serve is maybe the first or second most difficult stroke in all of sports. We went out and found a coach just for tennis serving to help her. I couldn't figure it out, And together we couldn't figure out, so we went out and found help. Another problem is limited social interaction. Children coached by their parents often miss out on social interactions and learning with peers. That is a big problem, and I will talk about the lessons learned at the end. Now, the ugly. Sometimes there is something called parent abuse. And I'm not saying about the parent who is the coach, but the other parents. I learned this through one of our friends who we knew since they were 6 or 7 years old. She is now a full-grown woman, graduated from college, and I had a conversation with her. And she said that it wasn't the issue so much with her parent, but other parents calling her a cheater, other parents calling her names. The parents of the other children were the problems. They were so emotionally involved and they wanted to win that they were making other children feel bad. The other ugly issue is these parents living through their children. If a child is successful, they could be successful through their children. One way to get away from that is many times people have said to me, oh, hey, is Samantha going to turn pro? Hey, what is this happening? And I said, I have no idea. I hope she enjoys the experience. I hope she's learning and improving, but I have no idea. Yesterday, when someone texted me, one of my friends say, hey, dude, are you watching Samantha play? I go, really? She's playing? I was working. Let me find out. Where is it? I wasn't even aware of her match times and that she was playing. And then I looked on YouTube, found her matches, looked at it. When I could talk to her later on, and we could have another shared experience. And I think that's many ways a very healthy relationship. What that could lead to, and I think Samantha had it, I know Anna Bright had it, and 2 or 3 former students had burnout. Emotional burnout is a big problem. That constant focus on the sport can lead to this burnout where the child does not enjoy the experience. It affects that long-term passion for the sport. And finally, the loss of perspective. There's a bias and a lack of objectivity, where the parents might be struggling to remain objective, but it affects their decision-making, their training intensity, their competition readiness, and the handling of losses. I had to learn a lot of these issues where a loss isn't necessarily a loss. If we lose to Anna Lee Waters and Ben Johns, we were expecting to lose. But if they played well and actually won a couple of points against them, that is a good loss. And improvement. I know Samantha's game very well. I can see these small improvements in her dinks, in her putaways, in her movement, in her decision making. I consider that a victory. Yesterday, when she was playing, there was an overhead. She missed it. I think it went wide. And I looked at the shadows on the court and realized it was a miss because the ball probably went directly into the sun. And my wife was, oh my God, how could you miss that? And I go, I think it was in the sun. And when I talked to Samantha later on, I said, she brought it up. I didn't even bring it up. She goes, oh yeah, I missed this one overhead. I said, it was the sun, right? She goes, yeah, it was right in the sun. I said, yeah, I knew that. Like, I've missed balls like that too, and there's nothing you can do about it. Over 10 years ago, I was reffing a junior tennis match. A young girl, probably 12 years old, won the first set and lost the second, and then collapsed in the third to lose. Her father, who was from a Central European country, perhaps Russia, was absolutely furious. After the match, he yelled at his daughter and didn't stop, and she cried. But he kept going on about every shot that she missed and the things that they worked on. He was fanatic. It was hard to watch. As a parent coach, I had to say something. Probably because I had seen shades of myself in that man. When I spoke, I didn't speak directly to him, but loud enough so he can hear me. I talked about the power that we have as parents over our children, and they want to please us. Also, how I had gotten too involved. with the development of my child. Often a parent's time frame is different from a child's in their ability to perform and perfect a skill. It's different from the plan, so we both get frustrated. Later, I saw them walking off together hand in hand. I had expected to get fired, but I never did. How do we mitigate some of these problems? The first thing a parent should do is understand their individual goals and their student's child's goals. And they need to set a boundary between being a parent and being a coach. It can't all be, well, you didn't do this and you need to do 50 balls corner to corner, then you need to run laps. No, you need to be a parent first, because that's our first job, to be a parent. And that's the fun job. Setting the boundaries and separating that role between a parent and a coach maintains a healthy relationship where there should be times for pickleball and then there should be times for fun. You have to learn to balance the pressures and the enjoyment. I always ask Samantha, did you enjoy the experience? When I first called her, I say, hey, how was it going in Michigan? And it was a little bit cooler. I think she was really happy that she was able to sub on a team. She was only able to play the women's draw because they lost their games and she wasn't able to play the mixed. That's disappointing, but at least it was a nice experience. You have to emphasize what's fun, that personal growth, and the winning should be secondary or tertiary. It will relieve the pressure of the competition. All the time I say, the score is only one part of the equation. It's how you play, how you compete, and how you're able to make your partner better. There were some issues not only with Sam, but also with her partner. She doesn't know the individuals on the team. I believe the education and the learning is important. You should always be a continual learner. You should be a lifetime learner, not only in the sport, but also in life. Here are my lessons learned. Have a group of parent coaches and friends. I was friends with 2 or 3 coaches. One of them I'm still friends with. Another one texted me the other day and said, hey, Bill, I saw what Samantha's doing and this is awesome. And I'm like, dude, you have something else you need to be doing? And evidently not, but he was excited for her. We had this group of girls who Samantha could play with and this group of guy coaches, and we're still friends today. If I was to make any recommendation, it would be not only to have that separation between the parent and the coach, the parent to have a firm understanding of what they know and what they don't know, and to make this an enjoyed experience where he had some friends. People are going to need doubles partners. The lessons I learned is to make sure that enjoying the experience. Separate yourself from being the coach and being a parent. Allow them to have fun relationships that are healthy relationships with other people of their own age. Reach out to other parent coaches. I have these friends still today. This could be a wonderful experience. The relationship I have with Samantha in reference to being a former coach is very special. I can talk to her and we have this thing that I wouldn't give up for the world. I hope other parents are self-aware and are able to develop a relationship with their children. I learned this from my mom, and every coach should employ this tactic. I call it fun and reward. After each practice session, there should be a fun game where the student almost always wins. Then there should be a fun gathering. I'm going to pick her up from the airport. I asked her if she would like to go get a boba tea. That's something that she likes. For your child, it might be something different. It might be ice cream. It might be yogurt. For Samantha, it's boba tea. I also make some of the best fried rice in Texas. I made a batch this morning, and I asked her if she would like some for her and her husband. Her husband loves fried rice. Every time we go out to dinner, he always orders fried rice. I made it specially for him. Food is a great incentive and a forum for non-pickleball social gathering. Let me repeat that. For non-pickleball social gathering. It takes effort to have a good relationship. It takes effort and self-awareness on the part of both the child and the parent. This is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. I'm Bill Wong. I'll see you on the pickleball court.